Survival mode is great for when you need it, but you're not actually supposed to live there. Hi, I'm Asiba, and as a mom of 6 and a military wife, I know all about feeling like you're always in survival mode and the need to kind of live in that place where your only response is a stress response. Your body is constantly fighting to react to whatever the changing circumstance that you're going through at the time. But you're not meant to live there. That's not a place we're supposed to be all the time. And today I want to talk about why a lot of moms kind of feel like we live in that place. We're always reacting, we're always catching up, we're always in defensive mode instead of being self-led in our lives. And a lot of it is due to the fact that in motherhood, things happen that are out of control. So instead of being able to lead ourselves, instead of being in charge of our day and each circumstance, a lot of times we're reactive. And our body's natural reaction to these things is either defense, right away, fight, or avoidance, distracting ourselves, procrastination, flight. We're fleeing basically from whatever the stress of it is. I'm not a psychologist, but I am a mom. I've been a mom for 13 years, and so I know that feeling. And some of the symptoms of constantly being in survival mode as a mom is you're tired, right? You don't, even after an 8-hour night of sleep, you don't wake up feeling energized. You're not excited for the day. You're not confident. You don't face the day with optimism or excitement for what is to come. You're kind of dreading the future. Sometimes there's feelings of despair, feeling like you're not in control of your life because each new stimulus just creates more of that feeling of doom, right? Like you have no control over how your day goes. And we're not meant to live that way. Even if you have a lot of children, even if life feels a little bit chaotic, that's not the way we're meant to function, not as moms, not as humans. So there are things that we can do to kind of build some stamina and build a little bit of discipline so that when those things come, we can trust ourselves to react to it accordingly and then move about our day according to the usual program, right? I know discipline is an ugly word for some people, but just go with me. So if you start to build habits and follow through on those habits every single time, it doesn't have to be big, just something small, and you keep your promise to yourself. You say, I'm going to do a thing, and then you follow through and you actually do the thing. You start building trust in yourself, and you don't have to rely on whether or not you feel like it or whether or not you're motivated. You kind of shift into this person who just does whatever the thing is, right? So for me, I like to take daily walks. Well, when I first started, it was kind of just something I said, I want to take daily walks. But then as I started to do it daily, it didn't become, well, I guess I'll do it, or I don't feel like doing it, or I'm motivated to do it, or I don't really have the motivation. It shifted into my identity, and then it just became a thing that I do. This is who I am. So if you want to get out of survival mode as a mom, slowly take more steps to become more self-led in your day, meaning you're in charge of how things go. You're even in charge of how you react to a thing. It starts with discipline. It starts with saying you're going to do something, no matter how small, actually following through on whatever that thing is, and you will start to trust yourself again. And you're probably thinking, like, what do these two things have to do with each other? Well, if you trust yourself enough to follow through with something small consistently enough, where even when you don't feel like it, your body just jumps into gear. It's cold outside, or it's raining outside, or I'm tired, but this is what I do. Every day I get up and I go for my walk. You start to trust yourself and you see, I can do that. And even as things happen in your morning, maybe you have, a sick kid, or maybe you sleep past your alarm, whatever it is, different stimuli that are always coming at us, and you still find a way to go out and go on that walk later. I'm not saying to take your kid out in the cold, by the way, if they're sick, to go for a walk. That's not what I'm saying. But once you're able to keep your promise to yourself and you decide this is just who I am no matter what, slowly you become the leader of your daily life. Now, things happen that are out of our control. I'm a Christian. I believe God's plan is going to prevail no matter what. But we have so much power in the way that we react to things and in the choices that we make, that once you start to take control of just the little things here and there, you start building more trust in yourself to follow through, you will see what a difference it makes. And slowly you become less reactive in your day and you start to lead your day. Those little stimuli that normally would kick you out of your normal routine, or maybe you don't even have routine, so you just kind of go with the flow, you will see your life becomes a little bit more structured. Certain patterns just start falling into place because no more is this something that you sometimes do. This becomes who you are. It changes from habits that you have to an identity shift. This is just who you are. And if you're a hot mess mom, I've used that term a lot more lately. I hate the term. I used to relate to the term, but it was such a trap that I fell into. The more I identified with it, the more of that I became. So I use it so that you know I'm talking about you if you also identify with it, but I'm not a fan of the phrase. Anyway, so the more structured your day becomes, the less you will identify as hot mess mom, and the more confidence you'll have in yourself, the more disciplined you'll become in your daily life. And I don't just mean with going for walks. I mean, you'll find yourself becoming more prepared. You'll be looking more towards the future and making plans as opposed to just going with the flow. There was a time where it would be 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon and I didn't know what I was going to make for dinner. I hadn't even thought about it in the future as a mom. But as I started building discipline and looking more towards the future and being more self-led in the day, I had already planned. I had shopped according to what meals I was preparing. And I'm not a structured person, and naturally I'm not one of those like OCD type A type moms. That's not me. But the more discipline you build, you're just more prepared. It's something that happens as a result of being more self-led and less reactive in your day. And the more control and the more trust you start to see in yourself, slowly you will get out of survivor mode. You will no longer just be reacting to whatever happens on instinct, fight or flight. You will already have a plan because you've already put those systems in place, no matter how big or small. So 3 things that I would do today if I wanted to get out of survival mode as a mom and I wanted to become more in control of my reactions, my daily life, and to start to build some discipline and more trust in myself to be self-led and not reactive in my day. 3 things that I would do. First, I would stop identifying myself as a hot mess mom. There's life and death are in the power of the tongue. I would stop speaking that over myself. You are no longer that. So the way that you think of yourself, the way that you view yourself is everything. I would start telling myself, you're in control. You're a mom who's prepared. You take steps and you follow through so that you can build trust in yourself. Speak that over yourself. It matters. Do it audibly. Do it out loud so that you can hear yourself and you'll start to believe it. Second, I would choose one thing, just one, every single day that's a little bit of a stretch, a little bit out of your comfort zone that you are deciding you're going to do. Every single day, no matter what comes, you decide to do that thing. Some days are going to be difficult. Some days are going to be easy. But for 30 days, choose to do whatever that thing is. It doesn't have to be exercise. It doesn't have to be diet. Maybe it's every day you're going to make your bed for 30 days. It doesn't matter if you don't feel well. It doesn't matter if you sleep in. It doesn't matter what time you have to get up. Choose to make your bed every single day for 30 days. And once you see that you can keep that promise to yourself and actually follow through, you will start to trust yourself more, build that habit of you are in control of the day and you don't have to react to stimuli because you are solid in your plan. And the third thing, I would get around some other women who either want to be more disciplined or who are already disciplined in their days. This does not mean get on social media and compare yourself to the perfect type A regimented moms with their planners and all of their chore charts and stuff. If that's not you, if that makes you feel down on yourself, don't do that. I'm not telling you to do that. What I would do is get in community with women who are also aligned with these same kind of goals and really just kind of absorb the energy from that and let that motivate you to be better, to be the mom who's not in survivor mode, who's in control, who builds these habits, who's disciplined, and who is getting everything she wants out of this life of motherhood and for her children, right? And if you don't have a community like that, I actually have a Facebook group. It's brand new and I can't wait to have you join it. It is called Hot Mess Mom No More on Facebook. And we are actually doing a 30-day challenge. It just started today, right in time for the new year, for different challenges, different things that we're doing every day to build more discipline in our lives, to not be the hot mess mom who feels sloppy and not confident, who always shows up late or who's forgetful, and you walk into the room and you're like, sorry, we're late, so-and-so had a meltdown and I forgot about this, and that, and oh, there's a stain on my shirt. You don't have to be that mom. And you don't have to be wired to be type A and perfect to not be that mom. So we are building those habits together. Today is day 1. So if you're seeing this and it's 10 days after the start of the challenge, you're not late. If you're seeing this and it's July of 2026, it's okay, you're not late. The challenge is always going to be in the group, and I would love to have you be a part of it and just to see what a difference making these promises and keeping them to yourself and surrounding yourself with other women who are like-minded can do for your mindset, for your habits, for your discipline, and just for your overall lives. We got to be in community with each other. So that is all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, and I hope to see you in the group.